for yet another episode of The Time We Can. This week, we just wanted to acknowledge the LBGTQA plus community, and we would like to thank my good friend JD for coming on the platform and giving us an episode in honor of Pride Month. So thank you so much, JD. I appreciate you being here today.
You're welcome.
All right, so our good friend JD is a gay man, and I just wanted to talk to him a little bit about his experiences being incarcerated as a gay man, to see if there were any trials or tribulations and, you know, how things were on the inside. But before we get into that, I just want to get into just the childhood and just give us a little backstory on how it is being a part of that community in Philadelphia. So, are you originally from Philadelphia?
No, I'm from New York.
You from New York?
Born and raised in the Bronx.
Oh, okay. What part of New York?
Bronx.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bronx. Okay. So how'd you like it there?
I was born and raised there, and I've lived in other places, and Philly is a weird place.
What year did you move over here?
2015.
2015?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, that's cool.
I've been here, like my first year here was cool because I just got here. I didn't know anything. My second year was horrible all the way till I left 2017. And then my situations on coming here brought me back here again, and I'm doing this probation thing, so once it's over, it's a wrap.
Okay, all right. Well, I just want to get a little knowledge about the community before we get into the incarceration, just because I want to educate myself and my viewers. So, first off, what pronouns do you go by?
See, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I came out the closet to my family, first of all, my family already knew who I was going to be growing up. So when I told them I was gay, it was a shock.
Okay.
Because growing up, I've always had feminine, I was always feminine, meaning like I dressed like a boy, but you know, I talk with my hands, my voice was kind of girly, you understand what I'm saying? And I already knew who I was, but I wasn't like, no one touched me to have these feelings.
Okay.
I knew who I was from me, from inside.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Just like you have a daughter, when your child's mom was having her, you guess, oh, maybe it was a boy, maybe it was a girl, but maybe deep down inside in your heart, you wanted a boy, but ended up coming out of a girl. The same thing with me. That's why I can't speak about nobody else. I knew who I was. It wasn't somebody molested me, somebody raped me, or anything like that. It's just like, I knew deep down inside who I was.
Okay.
So, being like, you know, growing up, I wasn't teased, I wasn't bullied, I wasn't chased home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was called, but you know, when little kids, see, it's different when a grown man called another big man,
Derogatory word, yeah.
Basically. But when you were a child, you understand, it's more like, you're ugly, she's ugly, you know, your mama, you understand, like that?
Right.
But there was like really no meanness with me growing up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't, and I was around a lot of my family, so they didn't care.
So your family was very accepting of who you were.
Yeah.
From day one.
Like I'm telling you, my family knew I was gay. So me saying something to them, oh, Grandma, I'm gay. He's like, well, I knew, like my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my mom did the same thing. She was like, yo, just like sometimes when you hear other people's stories and how their family members treated them because of their lifestyle, I feel really bad for them because people make being gay so bad.
Right.
And it's not.
No, not at all.
It's not at all bad to be a gay man or a lesbian or whatever it is. It's like, if you comfortable having same sex, but same sex with a man or same sex with a woman or whatever, it's really your preference.
Okay.
So really for me to tell somebody else, don't be gay, that sounds crazy. Or you don't like it or anything. A lot of gay people make it bad also too. So I can't only put it on the straight people. Because like me, when I came out, all my friends from high school and public school were all straight. So it was weird knowing who you are and you got 10 dudes you done grew up with playing basketball in a basketball court, you know what I'm saying, and doing, you know what I'm saying, hanging out with them and knowing them. So like, none of my friends was ever weirded out like, oh, you're gay, oh, we ain't gonna be friends, oh, we can't do this, or you can't come over to my house. I mean, I still spent the night at a lot of my friends' house and hung out with them, whatever. And they still accept me, but then you got some people that like, get shunned away, and I'm trying to figure out why would you do that? Who are you to judge anybody and say, being a homo, being a lesbian, being this is all wrong? First and foremost, you don't even thinking it. Because it's not your place to tell somebody what to be. You know what I'm saying? I can't force you to be a gay man and you're a straight man. Just like you can't, you understand what I'm saying? Like vice versa.
Likewise, I can't force you to be straight.
I didn't grow up in a household full of other gay people. Like none of my family members that I know of were gay. Like I didn't have an uncle, a gay uncle. I didn't have a gay aunt. Now after I came out the closet, then my aunt Tawana came out years later. You understand? So when I was growing up again, my household was my mother, my stepfather, me, my brother, and my sister. So I didn't grow up in houses, you know, with a whole bunch of gay people. So this is what I'm saying. Like some people say you can't be born gay, you can't be this gay and this, and it's all. I'm telling you, from me, can't speak about nobody else again. I was born this way.
And it's not, and I'm glad you're explaining it, but I've heard that so many times with the amount of, you know, I have a lot of gay friends, co-workers, gay, lesbian, bi.
Now I know, but see the big part of it is that back then, I knew straight people. Grew up with straight girls and straight guys. Now the world's so different that everybody's a lesbian and everybody's gay and everybody, you understand that? Back in the day when I grew up, it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? It was very secretive and, you know what I'm saying, you met somebody that was down with you, whatever. It wasn't rare, but it was so much on the hush. You understand what I'm saying? You had to meet certain people in that gay area type zone. The straight niggas that be, I don't mean
it's okay.
But the straight boys, you know, they be around your hood, you be hanging with them, whatever. I mean, sometimes, you know, this is why I say, you can never sit and say that you can read somebody's mind, because you can't. So you don't know, like you can be all this straightness, but in the back of your mind, you know you deep down the gay, you like to, you know, have sex with men or stuff like that. I can sit here and read your mind and say this for you all day. You can sit here and say I ain't gay, I ain't never had this experience, or I never thought about it, whatever. Who's to say you did, and who's to say you did? But I would never know the truth because you would sit here and say you did gay. You understand what I'm saying? People is just, you know, so much worried about what other people think. I don't care what people think. The only thing of it is, my issue is, I choose to be gay and I choose to be with a man, and that's my prerogative. You and the world can't come and tell me nothing when I made my choice on what I wanted to do. You get like these people that's going through what they're going through is scared to come out the closet because you're worried about what your neighbors is going to think, what you think about what the world going to think. You always going to be in the closet, and you will never ever be able to sit down and be who you are. You understand what I'm saying? Because you worry about what you going to think, you worry about what he going to think, what she going to think, and, you know, and then try to throw the Bible at you, and, you know, God said you shouldn't do this, and God said, so nigga, God said you shouldn't cheat on your wife, or you shouldn't smack your wife. How many times you done smacked your wife? But ain't nobody saying anything, but you want to be so hard on somebody being, especially a male. I don't care if he was white, black, Spanish, green, or whatever. We get it more than lesbian women. And that's the bad part about being gay, because they always think like being gay is hey, how you doing? I mean, some gay people like me, like I'm feminine, so I like to cross my legs, but you got gay masculine men. You understand? So that you wouldn't even think of.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? So like the gay word is so fickle and funny and listen, I'm still learning.
All right, well, hey man, thanks a lot for sharing that. You know, it's given me a lot of insight on a world that I'm familiar with, but I'm not as familiar with it as I should be. I know the world and climate of the United States is changing. We have to open our minds. So I just appreciate you just giving me the raw, uncut truth of what it is and your past and how your experience led you to where you are now. I want to get into the incarceration. So just doing a little bit of research on you before you got here. So you did about 3.5 years, right?
Yes.
In federal penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get right into it, man. How was being locked up?
A lot of people sit here and say, you know, jokingly that a gay man going to jail is like paradise.
Okay.
It's not. For me, it wasn't.
Really?
Because being 31 and never been incarcerated ever, like going to jail or whatever, anything like that, and the first time you go to jail, you get sentenced to 3 years in jail, that's freaking weird.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that was the thing that was bothering me the most. Then just being a gay man going to jail, because again, they say I should be happy because it's paradise. It wasn't no freaking paradise. It was a nightmare because you got the real straight guys in jail that don't deal with homos, and to be called a homo or a guppy, all them jail names, whatever, you know, it was hard for me. But now since I did my jail time and out here, it's different because I don't even get as mad. I don't get mad when somebody say you're a You know why? Because you don't even know what the hell the word means. You're using it and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's in the dictionary is a pile of sticks. I'm already skinny, so you're telling me I'm a pile of sticks. But you're trying to be mean and cost my ass. Being in the feds, I've been called every name but what my mother gave me.
Really?
By inmates. All kinds of all jail terminologies of
Really?
being gay. But the same people that did it, the same was it be in your head. So it's like a weird thing because when you incarcerate, you lock up with a whole bunch of people. And dumb people know dumb people. Dumb people don't know dumb people. So it's all like, you know, like, but the fence was more a respect level type thing. Because I was in jail with John Gotti's brother, P.R.I.D.E.
Okay.
And he was cool. You know, their family is a mafia family, and John Gotti died in jail, whatever, but he was a whole cool person. But you know what made my jail time go even more is that in the beginning when I first got locked up, I was like, I ain't got nothing to do with this. I don't know, because it was a conspiracy case. It was 38 people on my case. And it was just me, my cousin, my uncles, and all the people that they dealt with, but they all thought that we was some type of organization.
Right,
they called us the Bronx River Untouchables. And they just made up all these names and all these things, like, you know, like you say these are your friends here, right?
Right.
And you grew up with them, whatever. That don't mean that you follow what they follow. You understand what I'm saying? But when you grew up I grew up in a hood, in a project that has 14 buildings. Everybody knew everybody.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, you could be, my hood, you could be sleeping in a park, and somebody walk past you, oh, that's B's son, grandson, or, well, my grandmother, your last name Brown. Like, Miss Brown, that's Miss Brown's son, or that's Junior Brown's son. People knew you. So it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't weird, but it was just, everybody was doing their own thing, and the way the government had did it was, since I knew you, and everybody sold drugs for themselves, they couldn't figure out what was going on. So instead of sitting over there saying, you sold drugs for yourself and I sold drugs for you, they put us all in this big ass cold and said everybody was doing it. I wasn't even a drug dealer. So like the first day, I'll never forget it, even now, it's been years since it happened, is that we went to the feds and we just left court. So now everybody that didn't get bail or anything is going
upstate.
Going,
to the feds.
Yeah, going inside the building,
Okay.
going in jail, whatever, and then you wait for your next court date, whatever. And I never forget it was like everybody that I grew up with, everybody that I knew was there. So, but I was freaking out because my mom was running with the gay shit. She was like with the gay stuff. I'm like, I'm in jail, I'm in the feds. I didn't know nothing about, anything, never been to jail, stuff like that. So I'm freaking out. So I told her, I never forget, she was so ugly. The seal was so ugly. She was so dark-skinned and big, and like she looked like a gorilla. And I just looked at her and I started to cry, and she was like, what's wrong? I was like, I just need to talk to you. So we was all in one big cell, so she pulled me out that cell and puts me in the cell by myself. And I'll never forget that I talked to God. All the way, she said, Mr. Davis, now it's time to go upstairs, you got to put on your, because we had these potato sack jumpers with these cheap behind Skippy on our feet. It's the same color as the carpet.
Yeah.
It's a brown, and you stepping in, and you got these big buttons, and you got your name on the front of it, and you get the bracelet. It was all crazy. So then, so I'm sitting there, and I'm telling you, I talk to God. I talk to him just like I'm talking to you in this interview. And I just asked him, and I just begged him, and I just pleaded with him, like, listen, protect me. Through this whole thing, just protect me. You know what I'm saying? Keep me sane, watch over me. I was like, yes, I made a mistake, but this too far. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it was getting too far. And then when you heard 2 years, 6 months, 3 years and change in jail, and then 5 years on probation, that's when you get it. That's when you get the wake up.
Right.
Now you're like, oh shit, she slapped me with 3 years. But see, the good thing of it is before I actually got sentenced, I had did it half the time anyway. So by the time I already got sentenced, I had a few more months to be let go on probation or whatever, or stuff like that. Yeah, so that was the only good thing about it. But my experience in the beginning was horrible because it's just like, when you had your daughter, you teach her how to walk, so she's still trying to learn how to balance and, trying to, and you trying to teach her. No one to teach me about it. I knew I had to learn quick or I was going to be ate up like dog shit. You understand what I'm saying? So I was just listening, I watched everybody, but the good thing of being in the feds is that it's not a gladiator school. Like when you go to other jails, people are fighting, getting cut, and all that extra stuff and stuff. No, these dudes is really playing, gambling, because we had 4 TVs on the unit. We had a Spanish TV, we had sports TV, then we had the movie channel, then we had the regular TV where we could watch TV at. You understand what I'm saying? So it was just, these dudes wasn't on it, but they still tease me about certain shit, or don't go in his cell because he's gay. They got jail rules. That's the way it is. It's just but I told all my roommates, listen, you walk in here, it is what it is. You don't want to be here, trust and believe. And I had to really, some of them had to really go down the line to the point of not to be disrespectful. But
out of the 3 years that you did in the feds, did you have a relationship with anybody?
Yeah. And that was my another thing. I was like, listen, if this was going to happen, it's going to be with somebody that I don't want to be with. You ain't just going to be picking me and and passing me around like I'm some fucking blunt cigarette.
Yeah, all right, cool. Now, listen. Just the dynamic of the relationship, if you would like to share, just, the dynamics of it. You don't have to go into detail, but just the dynamics of how it is to have a prison relationship.
Well, with me, I didn't expect stuff like that to happen. And the first time it happened, it was a mutual thing. He was always watching me. I kept asking why to myself until one day we crossed paths and we ended up talking, and then that's when everything came out. But it was just basically, we lived on the same unit, we didn't live in the same cell, we lived in the same unit, we still went to the same child home, all that stuff, whatever. And then when it was time for us to congregate before we went to bed, we would talk and chill or whatever. It's just the same thing that it is like when you, as a straight man and your wife met out on the street.
Right,
it's the same thing. The only thing now is we in jail. He was in jail for whatever he did, but he had time. I didn't really have time. So, and no, we didn't have sex on the first night and all that stuff or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because, I ain't go there, but we was in 2 different cells.
Okay.
So I had my own bunk, he had his own bunk, but we would see each other, you know what I'm saying?
So it was just pretty much like a regular relationship, just like anybody else.
Just like, you know what I'm saying? But my biggest thing of it was always like, you gotta take care of me. Like, you got to bring something to the table. And I wasn't just messing with anybody because, you know, there was sometimes I didn't have money for conversation.
And you would, and now since he is your partner in there, you're looking at him as the same way like a woman would look to a man to help her out.
Basically, like, nigga, we conversate, we feel each other, whatever, but I'm just saying, like, in my world, just JD's world, is that I am, how you want, so I can say it so it sounds nice. I'm basically the woman in the relationship. So I want the same things a woman will want, but in a man way. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a woman. I don't have no, breasts and, vagina or whatever. But in the gay world, it's like, that's what I want. Like, you take care of me, I take care of you, but I'm like your main, you know what I'm saying?
I think I get you.
And the dude that I was dealing with already knew that, so like, he went to commissary, and you asked me what I want.
Right.
And I would tell him, and we just chill, and, we eat together, and, we get commissary, and, do stuff like that. So like, but my 2 biggest relationships in the Feds, to me, were the best.
Out of your whole life? So your prison relationships were actually really productive?
They were productive because there wasn't no drama.
Okay.
See, like when you out here in the world, as a straight man, you worry about what your wife doing, or your girlfriend doing, and she worry about what you doing and who you talking to. And the gay world is the same thing too. You got a man, now you worry about what your man talking to, your man's friends and all that extra stuff, whatever. When I was in the Feds with the 2 people that I was in a relationship with, especially the first one I was in a relationship with, is that it wasn't that argument the first one wasn't even like that. But he was just like, I don't really like you talking to other people. You understand what I'm saying? Like that. And I used to just laugh at him because who the hell am I supposed to talk to?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm in jail with a whole bunch of different men, and I'm in jail with you, and I'm not bothering you, like telling who you talk to, this, that, and that. He was just always trying to be funny. But, people get jealous. This is on the street, just the same way it is in jail. But the only thing different with y'all get to go out to movies, y'all get to go out to dinner, we get to go over to her house, she gets to go over to your house. You know what I'm saying? And jail, you can't do that. Like, if you want to do the dude, that sneak, you understand what I'm saying? If you and your partner ain't in the same cell, and he on this side, and you on this side, now you gotta sneak over here and sneak and do this and get cookies here and this, that, and everything. Like, my last one before I had left, I only had 3 relationships in jail. And the first one really wasn't even a relationship. It was just like, I was talking and we was talking and whatever, and within that time frame, we were still going back and forth to court. So he already got what he got and he left. So we was just on, we didn't have sex or anything like that. We were still on a talking basis. So once he went to court, they let him go, so he was gone. So I didn't really get to deal with anybody until I got to the Feds.
Okay.
And when I got to the Feds, the first one, like, if he, geez, we ain't gonna go there, but the last one, he was cool too, and we spoke afterwards or whatever, but I was always taught, I'd see different areas do different things in jail. So I've never been to a California jail, so I can't tell you what goes on there. I can't tell you about any other jail but the jail I went to. And the things that go on in there is the same thing like.
Is it like a unification thing in prison, like with other gay guys? Like, do y'all stick together? Like if you see another gay man on the tier or the block with you, or it's kind of just like every person so it's not unified at all? Because in some prisons, you know, you got the blacks hanging with the blacks, the whites hanging with the whites, or you got neighborhoods, like, you know, you got the Philly guys over here, the Pittsburgh guys over
that's the way it is. You want to be with your own area and stuff like that. But see, me, I'm gonna tell you what I did. I stayed away from my co-defendants.
Well, as you should.
No, I did for a reason.
Yeah.
Because if I got to some beef, the first thing would have said, oh, you're gonna go with your cousin. Or you understand? I didn't want nobody to have my back but my own. So when I separated from them and went somewhere else, I was fine.
Right.
And then like another thing that used to bother me also too was when I first got to jail, right? When I got into the feds in Lucas-town, it was Chowtown. I'll never forget, I got my tray and I was walking to the table, but all the other tables were full because everybody else was sitting here. There was one table that had a chair, so I went over there, put my tray down, and I sat down. As soon as I sat down, them three stood up and went to another table and left me there. And that freaked me out.
Yeah.
Like, wow, like I'm the plug now, like it's not that serious that I'm a gay man and you would move over to the, like, it was real, but you have to understand that in a jail with a whole bunch of gay people, it's just straight men, the real straight men, some of them are intimidated because, you know, like, you're in jail with a man and another man like you, and it's weird.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're a straight man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. You know what I'm saying? And some gay people don't seem to understand that everybody's not gay. And you can't say everybody's gay because everybody's not gay. And that's one thing that my mother told me, you know, as her talking to me about my lifestyle, how hard it would be. But like she always said, you got 3 strikes against you. You're a black man, you're a poor man, and a gay man.
Let me ask you a final question, man. Great interview, by the way. A lot of informative information, and I thank you again for giving us the opportunity to interview you.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have to ask another question. So, what advice, because it's Pride Month, and you know, pride is just being happy and accepting of who you are, whether it goes with the status quo or not. What would you say to a young male or woman, or a they, them, that is struggling with their self-awareness and identity, that may feel, you know, they just may feel nervous about being who they are? What advice would you give them?
This is what I tell people. This is what I would tell them. Stop trying to hide who you are for them. Because them ain't nothing. Them people that you so-called worry about what they're going to think about and stuff like that, or how you feel, you have to live your life the best way you have to. And I knew growing up the issues that I will come through, but it's a good thing I've been blessed because I haven't been through it.
Right.
But I would tell y'all, the ones that's scared to tell your mom and your dad and you know certain people know and all this extra stuff, whatever, tell them. It's you.
Right.
Why are you ashamed of what you like? You like steak, I like steak. You like pork chops, I like pork chops. But you might like liver and I don't, so we can't be friends. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't live your life thinking about what everybody else is going to say and how they feel. If my mom don't. Let me tell you something. I didn't worry about that because I knew my family. But my family ain't like everybody else's family.
Right.
But my whole thing of it is that for a mother or a father to turn down their son or their daughter because one's a lesbian, one's gay, that's bad. because you as a parent supposed to protect your children.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Not to the point where if they right or wrong, like, you know, when I broke the law, my mom got on my ass about that when I went to jail and all that extra stuff, whatever. Because she said, you don't do this to me right or wrong. So I'm not gonna sit over here and just let people dictate how I'm gonna live my life.
Right.
If I like being with men, that's my business. If you like being with women, that's your business. I don't have to justify who I sleep with to you, only to him. And God is your answers all the time.
Right.
If you can't find somebody to talk to God, because he will answer you wholeheartedly. Because people ain't gonna ever tell you the truth,
Right.
but God has.
Right.
And you know, don't think about committing suicide and doing all that extra stuff or whatever, because it's not that serious. You got to love you. If you've been called a or a little or whatever, or whatever these people and they try to hurt your feelings or whatever, you just brush it off and move on, because that's people being ignorant. And I don't care if you go to Alaska, they got ignorant people in Alaska. You just have to learn how to ignore them. Because when I first got the journalist called me, it used to eat me up. But as I got older, it's like, you really know what the fuck you talking about.
Right.
So I'm a but you call me a pile of sticks and you trying to be mean and nasty to me, and it doesn't even make any sense. So people, live for you. Don't live for nobody else, because if you always live in somebody else's shadow, you will never be happy. And you always have to love you. And I love me. Yeah, I ain't perfect, but I love me. I'm not gonna cover up my homosexualness for liking guys or whatever because you don't like it. You like Tucci, I like men. It is what it is.
Well, you heard it here from the best, man. Again, thank you for the interview, and happy Pride Month for every single member of the LBGTQA plus community. With time we can, another episode in the books. We out.